right, welcome to another episode of the Bulldog Bark. I'm yours truly, the Guru. We got our full cast today. We got Michael D. Rosta in the building, Kyle the Butler fan, and BFC Butler's Fighting Crew. All right, boys. So we previewed it, but we're not going to really recap it much. I know enough of you saw it. Electric double overtime win to kick off Big East play against Providence, 113 to 110. Just one of those games where, it was a snowstorm. There was still actually a pretty decent crowd. Shout out to the dog pound because the kids actually got there. And by the end of that, it was loud. So shout out to Butler Nation for that. But huge win for the Dogs after coming off that Boise State loss at home. Really needed that win. And then just the other day, visited UConn, number 5 in the nation, and the Dogs could not hit the broadside of a bomb. I mean, it was just bad. I mean, a lot of open shots too, but they could not hit anything. It was a 79-60 loss to number 5 UConn. And now the Butler Bulldogs gets a nice little trip to Gainbridge Fieldhouse this Saturday. What time's the game at, boys? I don't even have
4 o'clock.
4 o'clock. So we're after the Purdue game, I'm assuming?
Actually, right before the Purdue
Oh,
and
really?
Providence
Okay, they're
game.
both
They're
nights
not
games,
doing it
both
in the
night.
afternoon this year.
Okay, gotcha. So 4 o'clock in Gamebridge. Yeah, big game against Northwestern. This is a Q2 opportunity. It is Butler's last non-conference test. I know we had those weird Big East games in the middle of it, but now Butler's next 2 games are their final 2 non-conference games. They got Northwestern this Saturday at 4, and then they got NJIT, the juggernaut they are.
Yeah,
New
someone's
Jersey.
looking ahead of the Highlanders, it seems, Guru. I don't know if you can do that. They're
Do what?
dangerous.
What's their name?
The Highlanders, NJIT.
I thought you literally said they were the highlighters, and I was like, wow, that's the most interesting mascot I've ever seen. Okay, so the Highlanders got it. All right, so they're out there driving Toyota or Camry. Yeah, Toyota. Yeah, Camry is a Toyota. I'm everywhere. Okay, here we go. Anyway, you threw me off with the highlighter. All right, so but yes, they got. I think that's on Monday, right?
Yeah.
Monday. So that those are the
Monday at
last
2
two.
o'clock. So weird.
Is that 2 o'clock?
It is at 2 o'clock on Monday. Yep.
How
Spectators' delight.
How many weekday games?
I don't work next week, so I will be there, but I'm assuming that Hinkle is going to be
This
very empty.
this will be now. This will be the third. I missed one last year. This will be the third I missed this year in Hinkle because they play at 2 o'clock. That's really annoying. Okay. Anyway. And then they play NJIT on Monday, I guess at 2 o'clock. So you got to beat that team by 50, but we'll talk about that another day. Anyway, okay. So let's recap the UConn game first. Like I said, we lost 79-60. Just not our best game. In fact, our big 3, Bizjack, Ajayi, and Kaiser were. None of them were our top 3 scorers. We actually, Drayton Jones continues to look really good, by the way. Had a nice 13 points. So Xavier Robinson chipped in with another 11. So good to see those guys playing well, but we need our big 3 in games like that. It just didn't happen. So, Michael, I'll kick it off to you first. What are your thoughts on the UConn versus or Butler's loss to the UConn the other night?
Yeah, I wish I had more to say. They got good looks and they just didn't fall. Those are the games. I don't know. I was pretty mad at them losing the SMU game just because I was very confident they were the better team and they just did some stupid things. Games like this against UConn, one, it's obviously UConn, but shots just didn't fall. It's basketball. That just happens some days, throw your hands up. It's well, it just wasn't our day today. I wasn't mad at this one at all. I thought they got good looks. They still competed towards the end. They had a chance to push it to 8 at one point. Finley misses a 3, and then some bad transition defense reared its ugly head. If there was any negative takeaway for me, it was that. It was that our transition defense was bad in this game. And if there was a positive, it was to your point earlier, Guru. I thought Drayton Jones played a pretty good game. All things considered, in the Big East, really there are 4 games where it's you're going against really good bigs, and this was the first one of them. Hell, Osman's one of the better bigs in the league too, and I thought he's looked good in both games. So I've been most impressed with Drayton Jones lately. I think he's playing a lot better. And yeah, I wish the transition defense was a little better, but that was really it. No real complaints here.
Yeah, that was that play where Finley missed the 3. and then it was like back to back, like just real quick,
Yeah,
like
just
back to back ones, just killer. Because like the momentum, we had all the momentum at that point. I was like, oh shit, like here we go, like maybe we're gonna make something out of this. And yeah, just we just could not hit a shot. I mean, if that goes down, who knows? I mean, I'm not saying we win, but I think we cover. That's pretty
yeah.
close there, right? So that just killed everything. But Kyle, how about you, man?
Yeah, I mean, echo just the shots not falling. I mean, listen, if this and I'm not, we lost by 19. It is what it is. Like the final score is the final score. Um, but if that's even an average shooting night, um, as far as from three, and we're missing layups, and it's just stuff we haven't done all year. We've been pretty efficient offensively when it comes to shooting the basketball. That's like an 8 or 9 point game if it's even average shot making, and it's not something I'm going to freak out about. I guess the one place I would say I have a little concern. Do I have a long-term concern? No, because we've seen it from him. We've seen him go through these types of things and then come out the other side and be an all-world scorer. But the simple fact of the matter is, if you take out overtime against Providence, Finley has been not great the past 3 games. And overtime against Providence, an incredible, like you can't take it out because he took over the game in some fashion in overtime against Providence. So you can't take it out. I guess he just hasn't been uh super great other than that in those 3 games. Small concern, but not really going forward, because do I have any real doubt that he's going to turn it around and probably show out on Saturday? No. So other than that, yeah, it's have super huge complaints about this. UConn's probably the second or third I would say third. I think the worst people would say is fifth best team in the entire country, and you're at their place. It's one of the most difficult games you can play in college basketball, period, this year. And there were periods on the floor that we didn't look like we were completely useless out there, which against UConn at their place, a lot of teams are going to look very useless, especially in this conference. I cannot imagine how much worse a lot of teams are going to look at their floor this year. So, yeah, not super freaked out about that loss. Tough loss. You move on.
Yeah, and just to put some numbers on it, and tell me if you guys thought this was going to be what it was before the game. Butler shot 18 for 61, so 29% in this game. 5 for 24 from 3 pointers, so 20%. And again, like we've kind of highlighted, a lot of those were like pretty open, like pretty good shots. Like a lot of open corner threes, especially Kaiser had a lot of open ones that just weren't falling for a guy who's shooting like 45% from three. And then here's my favorite one though. Michael will love this. We were 19 for 24 from the free throw line. We shot almost 80% from the free throw line, but we couldn't hit shit elsewhere. Like that's so backwards.
Drayton went 7 of 7 from the line.
Drayton's shooting 80, whatever I posted today. He's shooting like 80 something percent from the free throw. I mean, he might be the guy I trust the most right now, which is insane. It's actually insane. But yeah, so BFC, what else you got from the UConn game?
Yeah, I think maybe just kind of going one positive that I can find. Evan Haywood played 15 total minutes in 3 games against Providence and UConn last year. In these past 2 games, he's played 58 minutes and is averaging 14 a game. He's been really instrumental, obviously instrumental in that Providence win. But I kind of thought that he looked maybe even the most comfortable outside of Drayton on the team. He didn't look kind of overmatched. He looked comfortable. He was getting to his shot. Defensively, I think he's made pretty intense improvements this year. So I just think that was a really good job by the staff of kind of identifying a super low risk, high reward prospect at high school. We saw glimpses last year, but he's just been steady this year, getting a lot better. And I mean, he's a guy that shoots 50% from three. And, as I called it, he's got the Brady Quinn spiral of jump shots. It's even if it's not going in, it looks like it is. It's like poetic. It's just unbelievable. But I thought he looked pretty good. And yeah, Drayton looked great. And Drayton, I know we had some people kind of freaking out after the first couple games, but it took him 1 or 2 games to kind of get into the offense and get comfortable. But outside of that, he's been great. Terrace Reed is kind of the centerpiece of their offense, and he kept him fairly in check. I mean, he's going to get his. He's a great player. But I thought Drayton and Evan were kind of the two positives to take out of that game. And Evan, going back to the Providence game as well.
Yeah. I thought Evan and I misspoke earlier. So it was Jones at 13, Xavier Robinson at 10, and Evan Haywood at 10. Those were our three leading scorers. And I love all those guys, but if those are our three leading scorers in the game, we're in big trouble. Like that's just reality, right? I mean, Jai 8, Vizjak 7, and Kaiser 4. And BFC, to your point, yeah, it always looks like it's going to go in, except for that one shot that I can't give him a pass on that one. I don't know what that thing was, but man, he launched that from like, wait, that was like you guys, you know what shot I'm talking about, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it was an air ball.
It
But
was off the ball screen, and it never got high enough to like look
never
like
got, yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, no. So again, it's just one of those, and I hate to be like this, but they're just going to beat the piss out of a lot of teams this year. So it's like it's just tough. They're one of the best teams in the country. The other thing I point out too is that we hadn't played a true road game since the SMU game, which actually was like a long time ago. So we're seeing a brand new hoop. We've been home for quite a few games in a row. So great team. Plus you're in a new environment. It just ended up being Michigan State from 2023-24 all over again, where no one could hit anything. So Butler now sits at 8-3 and 1-1 in conference. Okay, so like I said, we got kind of our a really really big matchup coming up against Northwestern. Butler has wins over Virginia, which has been huge. That win continues to just track fantastically for Butler. It's Q1A. They got a nice, solid win over South Carolina on a neutral court. The loss to SMU, and then the loss to Boise State. Pretty much, you need to win this Northwestern one, because those were kind of the 5 games that you looked at in the non-conference. You said, here's your 5. That is going to kind of help. The rest of them are all, Q4. I mean, Wright State, Q3. Keep doing your things, boys. I love you. But for the most part, those were the 5 games. So Northwestern's a huge matchup. It's in Gamebridge, Indy Classic. Michael, I'll pass it off to you. Kind of give us the preview or the breakdown on what Butler can expect to see with this Northwestern Wildcat team. I know we got to see a little bit of them because they were also in the Greenbrier. So Butler fans should at least be a little familiar with them. You should be familiar with Martinelli, who we saw last year. In fact, real quick shout out. Martinelli's only game that he did not score double digits last year. Can you guys tell me what game that was?
The Ohio State game.
No, the Butler game.
Ah, dang it.
Yeah, I know, right? What if I was like, actually, it was like, Merrimack.
Would have been very funny.
So Michael, give us the preview on the Northwestern team here.
Yeah, so very similar identity to the team that we played last year. In the game where Martinelli was the only game Martinelli didn't score in double figures. They just play very similar style. They like to keep the ball really inside the arc. They have a couple guys that I'm not gonna lie, I really wanted to see Butler recruit at different times. So this is a very interesting game for me. Like their point guard, Jaden Reed, really quick, New York tough, really like his game. Not a really good jump shooter, but he's quick, really smart, gets in the lane, really willing facilitator. That's kind of what he is first. Trey Singleton was a guy we recruited out of high school. He's from the Indy area. I don't remember where he went to high school off the top of my head. He's playing pretty well for them this year. They really like his future. And then KJ Wyndham is another guy. He went to, oh my God, Ben Davis in Indianapolis and shoots the cover off the ball. I don't know if he's playing this game. He was out with injury in their last game. So we don't know if he's going to play, but if he's playing, he'll come in off the bench for 15 minutes and pretty much do what Haywood does for us. Yeah, they want to keep the ball inside. Arrington Page is their big. Really, his entire offense is just rim running, finishing. He's pretty much, honestly, he's their Drayton Jones, just pretty much. Transfer from Cincinnati, and then he started career as USC because he was boys with, oh my God, I can't think of Isaiah Collier, and Martinelli's a stud. Those are really the guys like to look out for. They want to keep the ball inside the arc. They're not going to turn the ball over. They're going to play pretty similar style to Boise State, and they scout teams well. They'll run you off the line in this one, and they'll really try to slow the game down. So this one's going to be a battle. They're going to be a really well-coached team. They're not going to make a ton of mistakes. They're not going to beat themselves. You're going to have to find a way to beat them, and that's probably taking advantage of their defense and taking whatever they end up giving you. Typically, you're going to beat them on the glass, probably going to foul you a little bit in this game. You're going to be faster, stronger. Would hope you can take advantage in that some way. But yeah, they're going to be a very well-coached team. They're going to play close, and they're going to follow a good game plan. Just have to beat them.
Yeah, and I don't have it in front of me. I know you probably do. I know that their tempo is like super. It's like 200 something, I believe.
Yeah,
Yeah,
217. And then
217,
the
right?
average possession length when they're on defense, so like how long they make you take, 361st in the country. So
Yeah,
they make you
yeah.
take a while.
So it may take
Yeah.
a while, right? So the only difference between them and Boise State is again they're and I haven't dove into enough. You mentioned like they do give off they do give up offensive boards. I think they're like 276th and giving up like offensive rebound percentage. So that's definitely something Butler could take advantage of, considering Butler's 17th in the nation. And then I guess so their defensive rating is 101 on KenPom. I know they slow you down and stuff. Is there any other deficiencies that you're kind of seeing as far as like, because Butler obviously likes to score, but kind of looking at Northwestern, they're slower, but they are similar to Butler, and they have a 46 offensive efficiency, adjusted offensive efficiency, and 101st in adjusted defensive efficiency, whereas Butler is in the 40s, but then also technically we're 80th. Ish in defensive efficiency. So I don't know if there's anything else glaring that you see on their defensive end that you're like, oh, that's a problem for them.
So just looking at some of the games they played against like other really like high caliber teams, Wisconsin got to the line 21 times, made 18 of them. Virginia in that game in the Greenbrier got to the line 36 times and made 30 of them. And then Ohio State actually shot really poorly from the line, so ignore that game. But those two teams, I mean, they got to the line at will and they were converting, and both Wisconsin and Virginia for the most part, or Wisconsin and Ohio State, excuse me, they both kind of cooked them inside. Especially like if you can get Page in foul trouble, he's a guy who can be over aggressive at times. Yeah, I think he's kind of gotten better at that later in the season, but I think you can take advantage of them on the interior, particularly drawing fouls, getting to the line, and just kind of playing tough. I think this is a team I think you can out tough.
Yeah. Kyle, what are your thoughts on the upcoming matchup with Northwestern here?
Yeah, I've watched a decent bit of Northwestern. I think I'm trying to go through it now. The truth is of the matter with Nick Martinelli is that um he's gonna get his. If you just look at this year, he's averaging 22 points a game, which I don't know, but has to be among is if not, I'd be shocked if it's actually not the most in the Big Ten. If it's not, I'm sure it's second or third, and it's I'm sure one of the top in the country. Um, I think Page and Reed are the two guys that they look to um secondarily. And you hate to kind of say well, obviously you have to play as good of defense as you can on Martinelli. You'd assume Ajayi is going on him, in which case you feel pretty good about that, as you feel like Martinelli won't see too many guys better than Ajayi as far as athleticism on him. But if you just go through Martinelli's scoring games, he scored 9 against Virginia, which is his only bad game. But then other than that, you got 29 and 22, 32, 14, 18, 25, 24, 21, 20, 17. He's going to get his, right? And we know that. But if you can shut down or at least limit Page and Reed and suffocate their space, or make Ajayi beat you, make a Martinelli beat Ajayi by himself and therefore kind of beat Butler by himself, I'd be happy as far as a defensive game plan. I'm not worried about him. I'm more worried about making sure their secondary cast of characters, Singleton included, who I really like, doesn't get cooking in this one, because those are guys that if they end up thank you, Michael, second in Big Ten after Cade Tyson, who is I love Cade Tyson. Anyway, I think that if Martinelli goes for 30, I think you could tell me that means we lost or won. I don't think he's obviously the headliner of Northwestern, but I'm really interested to see our game plan on the role guys. Um, I don't know if you can call them role guys, but specifically Page and Reed and how we defend them. If you just look at these guys' games, right? They beat a DePaul team that we know is not very great by 2. They lost to a Virginia team that we beat by 5. They only beat a South Carolina team that we know we probably should have beat by more and isn't a great team by 2. They lost to an Oklahoma State team that is fine by 5. They lost to I would say down Wisconsin team for their standards by 12. They lost to Ohio State at home, who I think is pretty good, I guess. This team, their results are consistently fine, is what I would say. They similar to what Michael said, they seem to be a consistent team, but they don't have any results this year, and they've played a bunch of decent high major games that come off as super impressive. I think if this is a game, and the season isn't over if you lose, but I think it's a type of game that's really important, because it's the type of game that if you expect it to be a tournament team, this is the type of team and the caliber of team that you really should come out with a win against. So excited. I would say 2 days ahead. I'm the most nervous for a game I've been this year because I think this has very high stakes. But as far as our season and our resume, but I'm excited.
Yeah, no, definitely should be a fun one. It's also the what is this, the second, wait, how many years have we played? Second year in a row we played Northwestern? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know why I had to think about that because I keep getting them in Boise State back. Yeah, Boise State's going out. Yeah, yeah. Okay. But nope, yep, absolutely agree with everything. We need to get this one. And I kind of said this to someone earlier. I was like, life of a bubble team outside of like basically the UConn games, and I mean maybe to an extent the same, depending on kind of where they end up. Um, you know, pretty much every game's a must-win game. Like I know it sounds like weird to say that, but like I love how every time we lose, we come off and we're like, it's a must-win game, and it's always like kind of all are. I don't know. It just feels like every time we lose, the next one's like a must-win. I'm like, if Providence one was a must-win, it's like. The South Carolina game was a must-win. It's like every time we lose, the next game is just a must-win. And it's basically just any game that's not against UConn. So, but I do agree to round out the non-conference. This does have some pretty big implications. But BFC, what are your thoughts, or what are you looking forward to with this Northwestern game?
Yeah, I think obviously Martinelli's is a hell of a player. I do think we match up a little bit better with them defensively than a lot of other teams. And it's something that, I've harped on a lot, but unfortunately it keeps rearing its ugly head. We can't stop volume scoring guards. Every game where if that's kind of their number one option, it's come back to bite us. I mean, against Providence, you're lucky to get out of there with a win when, they've got Jason Edwards going off like the way he was and the shots that he was making. Solo ball goes for a season high. I mean, it's pretty consistent. It's something that we're gonna have to nip in the bud because there are good guards in the Big East. That's kind of something where Marquette is down this year, but if you let Ross kind of get cooking, he can win a game by himself. So it's something that we've got to nip in the bud at some time. Reed isn't that type of player. He's a good player, but he's not necessarily the type of player that we've been really burned by. And then I think Ajayi's good enough defensively to hold his own against Martinelli as long as he's not in foul trouble. So that's he's going to get his. He's too good to completely shut him down. But luckily, I think our Achilles heel is just not necessarily going to be present in this game. I like Singleton. I mean, Singleton took down Fishers for Jeffersonville, won a state title basically by himself. He is a phenomenal player that we recruited pretty heavily. I think we got to his final 5 or final 3. I can't remember what he trimmed it down to, but he's a great player, and they're using him as such. I mean, he's averaging like 8 points a game as a freshman for a Power 5 team. That's nothing to kind of shake a stick at. So I think it's a good matchup. But yeah, it's a game you have to win if you want to be in the tournament. It's the last non-conference opportunity to really make an impact, but it's also, if it doesn't go well for them in the Big Ten, the Big Ten kind of has some landmines where they could trip up and make this loss look really bad. It's something you got to take care of business.
Yeah. And to your point about the fouls, that was another, I mean, we already recapped the UConn, but it was kind of a killer too. I mean, we talked about the shot selection or not selection, shot misses and everything like that. But man, we don't really foul, and it really sucked to have Kaiser and Ajayi and Bizjack all had 2 fouls. I mean, especially Kaiser had 2 in the first like 5 minutes, which is pretty killer when you're trying to face the number 5 team in the country. So we don't usually foul. So hopefully Ajayi, like you said, doesn't foul because we obviously need him on the court and Kaiser. I'd be so curious, like what, and I'm sure one of you guys could find me somewhere where I could like see this stat, or I could just look around. I wonder what team's mid-range percentage is against us. I feel like every team makes every damn mid-range jumper. It's like insane. Like Boise State made like every single one. Drew Fielder, I think, had 50 in that game. Literally, like every team we play that pick and roll, which we've always struggled to defend anyway. like they're not even always necessarily going to the bucket. They're like pulling up at like the free throw line and they make it. Like, and that's like the worst shot in basketball, technically. And I'm like, can one of these teams just goddamn miss it? Like, please, like one time. But to Michael's point earlier, they do like to play inside. They're 31st in the country in 2-point percentage. They shoot about 60% at the two, but three, they're respectable, 179. They shoot 33 points. They basically make 1 out of 3. And to Michael's point, also they don't turn the ball over, so they are efficient on offense. And we'll have to take advantage on the defensive end and be ready to go. But anything else you guys want to add on the game before we give our good old predictions, which I've promised this 1,000 times. At some point I will. Guys, I've promised it 1,000 times. I'm going to make a graphic. It's going to happen. Look, I'm a little busy. I'm a dad now. I'm tired, okay? I'm tired. I'm tired, boys. I will make it. I promise. I got Canva uploaded. I'm ready to go, but it will happen. We'll see who's actually the closest, who's winning. I haven't even made the rules yet. Who knows? Maybe it's going to be who's closest. Maybe it's just maybe I'll just give it to myself because I want to. So let's go with anything else you guys want to add to that Northwestern game. Cool. All right. So Michael, wait, no, we're doing orders now. That's right. No. I gave you first last time. And then Kyle, you weren't on it because then it was BFC, then it was me. So Kyle, you would technically be last. So Kyle, your prediction score for the Butler versus Northwestern game.
Okay. I think I'd like to believe we win this game by more than the Ken Prom spread, which is 2. I'm gonna say that I think the Ken Prom spread is 2. I'm gonna say Butler wins. I think we score pretty well. If you look at all Northwestern's losses, they've all been in like in the 85-point range, and I think we have a pretty damn good offense. I'm gonna go 88-81. We win.
I like it. So let me think. So I got Kyle. Wait, so I was third. I was fourth. Shoot, I think I get this backwards. Wait, no. So Kyle would go from fourth. Kyle would go to first. I would go to fourth. BFC goes to third. So Michael, you're second. Yeah,
This
see, I
is
got
so
it.
chaotic. I love it.
No, I got it. I got it.
Yeah. I think in every game but the Providence game, I've taken the under, like overall, and I think I've been wrong just about every time. So that said, I'm gonna do it again. 74-70, Butler wins.
All right. Interesting. Okay. Wait, what was I? I'm fourth. Okay, BFC.
I think 87-75.
Ooh, nice little 12-pointer. Drayton Jones hits 20 straight free throws. I like it. This is good. Yeah. Who would have thought that at the beginning of the year I'd be like, hey, you know what? Hey, Mata, make sure you get Drayton on the floor if it's a close game because we need to make some free throws. Like that's the last thing I expected to say. But here we are. I mean, weirdly in the UConn game, I was like, he's gonna make these. I was like, why am I saying that? That feels wrong to say out loud. So I'm gonna go off nothing other than Ken Pom here, and not the actual score, but just based on their defensive metrics. I think we do hit the boards hard if they truly can't. I mean, just based on their percentages, they give up offensive rebounds, and outside of like 1 game or 2 games, we hit the offensive boards. I think Ajayi comes back alive here after a little bit of a subpar game against UConn. I think we end up going with 85-77. That's what I'm going to go with right there. Nice little, those are my math, 8-point win. Again, I will make a graphic, boys. I will make up the rules. I'll send it out. It's going to be beautiful. Yeah, we'll figure that out then. All right. So again, Butler, 8-3, 1-1 in conference. Huge matchup this weekend, 4:00 Eastern time. The Indy Classic against Northwestern in downtown Gainbridge Fieldhouse. So an exciting game, but got to get this one, boys. And, as always, go Dogs.